we are going to be working on part of the fire building process. It's not a mandatory part, but it is a helpful part, making feather sticks. So the idea is to have something nice and small. As we're building fire, we want to work from small to large. So these are going to light a lot easier and then burn up and into my smaller fuel size pieces. This is about 10% technique. It is mostly wood selection and knife style that causes people to struggle with this. The technique's not that complicated. It's mostly those other couple factors. So let's take a look at our wood, figure out what we want, and then start to build these feather sticks. Okay, first of all, a couple pro tips. If I'm gonna be doing this, I wanna ideally avoid the outer edge of my tree or of my wood. So if I have a piece of wood like this one, where there was exposed wood right here, this is where the bark would have been, this is most likely to be moist or have some kind of water damage done to it. I want to, if I can, avoid that. If they light, then great, go ahead and use it, but it's definitely going to be not my first choice of a piece of wood I'm going to use. I can use the inside wood, the heartwood, but I don't want to make a feather stick off of this corner. That leads us to our next point. What we're looking for on the wood itself is going to be a nice sharp edge. If you have something that looks kind of like this, where it's super jagged right here, this is going to be a terrible spot to try and make a feather stick. So find something that is going to be a nice sharp edge, more like what we have on this piece coming down right here. I also want it to be straight grain, if at all possible. The more twisted the grain is, the harder it is to get those shavings to stay in place and actually peel off as one single unit. And then I want to avoid any type of knot. So this is the outside of the tree anyways, but there's a knot right here. This piece of wood has a bunch of knots kind of running through here. You're not going to be able to make a fire stick through a knot. But a tip I was given early on in making this was your arm is a little bit less steady, meaning your arm muscles as you extend versus just using your upper body and starting to come down and start to make your little shavings here. When I do this, if you don't have the right angle based off of the knife you're using, so all we're trying to do is slowly dig into the wood here and start to cut off little pieces like this. So while I'm doing that, if I can't get it, I'm just gonna start going down without doing any shavings at all. And then slowly, as I'm going down, start to turn my knife more and more into the wood. Once I start getting shavings off of this, don't dig in anymore into the wood. You're gonna hold that angle and just slide straight down. Like I said, it can be helpful to just use your upper body, especially once you're getting started and trying to figure this out. My knife is at a slight downward angle to the wood, so I don't want to be perpendicular. I want to have the tip angled down a little bit and start doing these shavings. Each time I shave off a feather, I turn the wood just a little bit, so I'm trying to hit a new angle as I'm doing it. Once I'm happy with how many I have, I'm gonna just put my knife down at the base of all the feathers, give slight downward pressure, and start rocking the knife back and forth and pushing down. And that is what's gonna split off the rest of that stick. So that's what it should look like once it's done. Got a few of these made. I can put them all together and then use these to light my fire. All right, so let's check out a close-up version of this. Again, when I get to the bottom here, I'm going to push down and rock back and forth like this. And that, with downward pressure, is going to split that feather stick off. Just like that. Let's make a few more. Lighting this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to use a brace that's going to allow oxygen to flow through. The brace should be bigger than whatever tinder I'm going to use. So I'm going to light my tinder and it should burn up into my sticks. Let's check it out. Feather sticks go straight down into the flames. Back the brace up there. If you made it this far in the video, color me impressed. Thanks so much for checking out 6-Point Survival. We do survival events, adventures, and weekly content. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more, and see ya!